Hi there, Robert here from your Bay Area Concrete out here in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I wanted to show you a little bit about concrete cracks and how I go about filling them. Now this video is going to talk about cracks specifically in a driveway. I don't want you to watch this video and decide you are going to go patch your basement with a little bit of patch and think that it's fixed. What I'm going to show you is really only for what we call flat work, which are pieces that are lying flat on the ground, like driveways, patios, walkways, mow curbs. Cracks on vertical surfaces, like stem walls and concrete walls and retaining walls, require a different process than what I'm going to show in this video. It's not just about what materials or process to use. Cracks on vertical surfaces require a professional to look at them. Someone who has experience building, and depending on the size of the vertical surface, it may require an engineer to look at it. So if you have a crack on a vertical surface, and you're not a contractor, please don't try to just patch it on your own. There are two types of cracks that can occur in concrete: active cracks and dormant cracks. Active cracks are still actively cracking. You can often tell an active crack because it hasn't reached the other side of the concrete yet. The only way to really tell if a crack is truly active is to measure it. If the crack opening is getting wider over time, then it's definitely active. You can also measure the length of the crack. If the crack is getting longer over time, it's also active. But most cracks are dormant, meaning they have already cracked and they aren't moving anymore. Epoxy is the best for active cracks. But for dormant cracks, you don't really need epoxy. You can use other products. In this particular case, I'm going to use something called ardex concrete patch. Ardex concrete patch is an engineered cementitious topping and filling for repairing concrete for both indoor and outdoor. It's a little expensive, but it's commercial grade and it can be walked on in a couple hours. It's really just the first step in a bigger process. And when we do a concrete overlay, we do the entire surface of the concrete, just like this driveway. But in this case, we didn't do the whole process. We were just patching up these cracks for the homeowner. And he plans to paint a little bit farther on down the road. Now you already saw me remove some of the old material. First thing I had to do was get down into these old cracks, and I don't know what was in there. It was something that came from a big box store. There was some kind of filler, and there's nothing wrong with those brands or products, but it's just a matter of how long that's going to last, and the thing is, with any repair, concrete repairs, given enough time, you're going to see it. It's going to fail, so it's really just a patch. But anyway, we removed that. We took the angle grinder, got my cutoff wheel out. It's a diamond cutoff wheel on an angle grinder. Remove all the old material, grinding down into the crack to remove any of the dirt and grime from down inside the opening. You want to get all along the edge of it if you can and get it all scarred up nice and clean. And I do my best to keep the dust to a minimum, but it's important to you wear a respirator and your safety glasses during this process. It's messy and you don't want to breathe in the concrete dust. You don't want one of those little pieces of concrete flying into your eye. And after all the cracks are opened up, I came back with a surface grinder and cleaned the surface alongside the crack opening. I wanted to make sure the entire area was cleaned. And I went ahead and I have got my HEPA vac attached to that surface cleaner with a dust shroud, and it does catch the dust a lot better. And then the next time I'll be able to come back with a dust shroud for that other blade as well and maybe keep the dust even more to a minimum. But the whole goal here, going through this process and opening those cracks up and making sure that the edges are really clean so that I can get a really, really good bond. When I put that product into these cracks, I want it to have the best situation in order to get the best chance of a really strong bond, the best result, and to see how long it can last, because this product is engineered to do this, and it could probably last quite some time if the prep is done well. So that was my goal with this, was to try to give him something that at least is going to last him a few years after he paints. And it is important that he paints. He's going to paint after I would paint, or I would seal, or I'd do the overlay itself and then paint and then seal. But it's important after doing this kind of work to get the concrete sealed back up, because you really want to protect the work that you did, and it'll make it last a lot longer if you do. But that was not the goal of this. The goal of this one was to go ahead and just get the patch in there, and it's kind of a shame, but somehow along the line here, I don't know what happened, but I missed the footage of me doing the actual patch. You can see me now coming back and cleaning it. I already put the patch in, and I'm grinding it down and getting it all cleaned up. And then basically, I don't know how I missed that footage. I had technical difficulties at the time, and my camera was dead. So I didn't have any choice. I had to keep going with the job. But now I'm to the point there where after, I got the patch in, ground it down a little bit, and then come back and clean everything. And that way when the time comes and he'll be able to paint this after and hopefully get some sealer on it, and it'll have a nice look. And it'll be a lot better than what it was. So that's the final patchwork there. And you can see it's all cleaned up. And it looks good. I mean, for what it is, it's just the first step in the process. It's not the whole thing. It still needs to be painted, stained, sealed, an overlay, something. Something has to happen. But this is the beginning of it. And it is something that is not that hard to do. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of practice. But hopefully with all that prep work that I did, we'll get a really good, strong bond in this. So if you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up and share this video. Also, you can find my contact information in the description or on Facebook page. And give us a call if you need something like this done. We service the Greater Bay Area, and we would love to talk to you soon.